What does it look like to love a community rather than to leave it?
She saved my life.
The people here, they care.
Keep breathing, never get enough. Keep fighting and never give it up.
Someone cared enough to help them get better.
Dream alive.
My hope for Milwaukee is that we come together as one.
Milwaukee, I love you.
Good morning and welcome to Positively Milwaukee. Let's face it, it is not easy going back to college as an adult, and most don't think about returning to school for a master's degree in their 70s. But that's what a local historian is doing, and I couldn't help but to get Claiborne Benson to tell me all about it.
Well, I want to tell you about some African-American communities that make Wisconsin unique and special.
If you've been in the Milwaukee area for a long time, chances are you know about Claiborne Benson, well known as a go-to expert on African-American history.
Here we have two communities that were formed, Pleasant Ridge and Cheyenne Valley.
Benson was a TMJ4 photojournalist for almost 4 decades. This year, he was honored by the Milwaukee Bucks with this tribute during Black History Month.
Tonight we recognize Claiborne Benson.
Benson is the founder of the Wisconsin Black Historical Society Museum. The Bucks played this tribute on the jumbo screen.
The museum's purpose is to encourage and promote family, community, and the cultural activities in Wisconsin.
Claiborne enjoys sharing history at his museum.
The white citizens see them as domestic workers and farmers.
Here, you witness the role African Americans played in shaping Wisconsin's past. And Benson's museum is legendary for bringing people together for big events like this Kwanzaa celebration. Benson has always had a passion for yesteryear, and now he's taking an even deeper dive, going back to college. Dr. Sarah Vanderhagen leads this class on African American Studies at UWM.
How do we make sense of varying and perhaps sometimes conflicting accounts of slavery and emancipation in meaningful ways?
At 73 years old, Claiborne Benson is working toward a master's degree.
The Emancipation Proclamation is a wartime method to punish the South and not really free the enslaved people.
He admits it can be challenging.
This semester is testing all that I got. I'm telling you, I'm sweating.
Often Benson finds himself in class discussing history with students more than half his age.
And they celebrated life and love.
What would you say to somebody who's in their 70s, thinking about going back to school and wanting to do what you do?
I would tell them no.
Claiborne, you would not.
Yes, I would.
Well, because
it's hard.
Benson jokes, but he encourages everyone to expand their minds as they age.
It's challenging. It's like, what do you think I do on Saturdays and Sundays? I study. I read and I study, and I get nervous, anxiety when I don't understand something. I call for help. There is a lot to this. This is not for the weak.
He insists the power of self-growth is crucial.
You've got to move, you've got to work hard at making the changes and growing with your life.
And technology has not been all that kind.
I sit in classes and I'm trying to figure out how to operate this computer in the way in which those kids are doing it. It's tough.
But returning to UWM in his later years has opened his eyes. What has been just so enlightening for you personally?
Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth. It's not really her name. She has a different name, and she took on that. And when she talks about, ain't I a woman? She didn't say that. Others said it for her.
And as Claiborne Benson illuminates the heritage of Black Americans, he's a symbol of aging gracefully and a powerful reminder that getting older is no excuse to close the books on education.
Learning is so important because our lifestyle is always changing, and learning about those changes is required.
Such an inspiration, and Claiborne tells me connecting with youth is vital. He wants them to know their roots and where they came from. A second chance can make a huge difference. In Milwaukee's Amani neighborhood, that second chance comes in the form of skilled trade training. Simone Woolridge learned how it's helping to build an entire neighborhood.
If I can take the wire and I can move it with one finger real easy, it's probably 14.
Jim Gaylord is teaching these men some tricks and tips to being an electrician. Jim has been in the trade for more than 30 years.
And we can go in there and make it seem so simple. It's a good feeling that you can go in. It's almost like being a magician. You make magic happen.
It's a feeling of confidence Jim wants to pass on to his trainees with the Ezekiel Community Development Corporation.
So I knew I had a lot of friends and family members that had been incarcerated, chronically unemployed, thought the only hope they had was out here on the streets. And then once they started seeing how to do this, a lot of them love it.
For Richard Buckner, this is a more consistent and legal way to make money. He ended up in jail for selling drugs.
I just needed some extra money, trying to keep money in my pocket, so I went and got it the wrong way.
But now Richard has steady work. He even helped flip a house here in the Imani neighborhood and was able to buy it for his family, including his 4 kids.
Oh, they loved it. They loved it, especially everybody having their own room and their own beds and everything. They loved it.
Project manager Kevin Freeman says this training program is about more than just teaching these men and rehabbing houses.
In the course of that, sometimes we revitalize and restore some of the residents as well, some of the pride that they have in like the neighborhoods.
Kevin knows firsthand meaningful work can help people stay out of jail. He also completed the training program after serving time for a firearms charge.
Through having a job, a trade, it kind of gives you a sense of pride, a sense of purpose, and it gives you something to do every day to be engaged.
And Jim is teaching these guys to stick to a standard of excellence.
They may talk about how you look or anything else, but they're not going to be able to talk about your job. Keep your level of work up here.
And it's paying off.
Well, they're doing work better than some people that I know have been electricians for 20 and 30 years. Want more, believe you deserve more, and go for it, don't stop, and don't let anybody else stop you.
Creating opportunity. And Jim says when he was coming up as an electrician, a lot of union shops were dominated by white men who did not want to train him. He says that makes such programs even more important because that increases diversity in the skilled trades. Coming up, a father-son duo teaming up for a life-saving cause. Plus, it's never a bad time to take care of planet Earth. A cleanup crew is keeping that promise despite some bad weather. But before we go, don't forget lunch with me every Wednesday at 12:30 on Facebook Live. I recently got the chance to chat with Dr. Michelle G., a professor and dean at the College of Business, Economics, and Computing at UW-Parkside, an amazing role model to students, smart, insightful, and energetic. Every week I get to talk to someone who is truly positively Milwaukee, just like Dr. G. Join me every week on Facebook Live. Send me questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back. Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. Organ donation can save lives, but not enough people are signed up to be donors. Taylor Lumpkin talked to a father and son trying to change that.
I was bracing myself for this could very well be the end of my life.
Just 4 months ago, this is what life for Greg Milan looked like.
It was just getting weaker and weaker, and my skin was yellowing, my eyes were yellowing.
4 years earlier, in 2017, his father, John, was in a similar position. It turned out that both John and Greg suffer from a rare genetic disorder that leads to liver failure. Both needed a liver transplant in order to survive.
I was waiting at home, and I had lost 40 pounds. I thought I was not going to make it.
That's when Dr. Ajay Sahashpal at Aurora St. Luke stepped in. After a couple of months, John learned he'd be getting a new liver, and Dr. Sahashpal performed the transplant. But what he didn't know was that he'd be performing that same exact surgery on John's son just a few years later.
And I connected the dots with the last name, and I said to our post coordinator, I know this name. They both presented differently, but they presented with the same need for a liver transplant.
This father and son duo are urging people in Wisconsin to become a donor, where more than 1,600 people are currently on the organ transplant waiting list, and help save a life.
There are always more people that need transplants than there are available organs.
And I don't think people realize.
And signing up for the Organ Donor Registry only takes a minute, and you can save a life. We have a link for you to do that at tmj4.com. Earth Day is such an important day to remember the value of the planet we live on. I talked to some people on Earth Day who know every day is a good day to take care of the environment. Gray skies and pounding rain, no deterrent for determined volunteers cleaning up the Harambe neighborhood. A true commitment to Earth Day.
We're here to make a difference. You know, the Doman Company Foundation has been in Milwaukee for 165 years, and we are so excited to be a new neighbor in the Harambe neighborhood. And today is a great day to show that excitement by helping beautify the neighborhood that we're excited to be part of.
The earth is all of ours, and if you just get out and if you participate in a beach cleanup or a cleanup like this, it really connects you to, there's a lot out there that we leave behind and that we need to kind of do better to take care of Mother Nature and ourselves.
We can all make a change, you know, day by day. I actually saw somebody picking up trash just in her free time by the lake, and, you know, it kind of inspired me to go out and actually pick up trash and, you know, deal with that adversity of the rain.
And the volunteers here are living up to the real meaning of the Swahili word Harambe.
Harambe means coming together, bringing us together, and we want to make sure that that happens, rain, sleet, or snow. One thing about Milwaukee is the weather doesn't think about us, or we don't think about it. Whatever it is, something needs to be done, we make sure we get out here and we put the 100% effort to get it done.
There is even a group here from Chicago picking up trash, reminding us we all have a duty to save our planet.
Well, Earth Day isn't just about your backyards, but all of our neighbors' backyards. And of course, Milwaukee is our neighbor, so we're doing what we can to support our neighbors today.
And those cleanup crews all have the same message. Milwaukee is a beautiful city, and we should take care of it. Well, everyone gets a chance to play sports, but people with disabilities don't always get that chance. Sarah McGrew attended a very special baseball event aimed at inclusivity.
Good job. It may look like your ordinary batting cage, but the beeping you hear is what makes it special.
I love the beeping baseball because it helps me.
This is Beep Baseball. If you've never heard of it, Javon explains it best.
Beeper baseball is a sport for the visually impaired. It's played with a beeper inside of a baseball, and the bases also beep so you know where to find them.
On Thursday, MSOE baseball players teamed up with Vision Forward to help blind and visually impaired kids in our community learn how to play.
So it gives people that don't normally have the opportunity to play baseball, which is a great sport, they give them an opportunity to go play the game that we all love.
According to Vision Forward, 70% of kids who are blind or visually impaired don't have access to sports or other physical activity. That's why these events are so important.
What we look to do is to plan events where students can really find all the things that are possible. And so engaging in a sport which otherwise might seem like something very visual can actually be made so it's something that they can participate in.
The Beep Baseball event has been going on for several years at MSOE, but this is the first time they've been able to have it since the pandemic began.
Perfect. To see them run after it and chase the ball, and they're laughing and having a good time, smiling while they're doing it. I think that, for me, is the best part.
And for the kids, everything about the game is special.
Just the sounds, me hitting the ball, running to the bases.
Pretty cool. Now, a story like this shows we all have a lot more in common than sometimes we realize. Coming up after the break, a unique home just hit the market, and it has a heartwarming story. But first, let's meet our Positively Milwaukee Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Johanna with HAWS, the Humane Animal Welfare Society of Waukesha, and today I'm bringing to you our Positively Milwaukee friend Martha. You may remember this 5-year-old mixed breed from previous segments, but today we're here to talk to you about her because she's been here for over a year, and we are looking to find a home for her. She is absolutely a ham and loves her toys and belly rubs and is obsessed with rolling in the wet grass. Her tail is always wagging and her body is always wiggling, and we have learned so much about this girl that we want you to know. Martha was diagnosed with severe separation anxiety, one of the most severe cases HAWS has ever seen. And because of her struggles, Martha will need a very experienced caretaker and specific home environment that has time and the ability to help treat her. Having a pet reside at the shelter for a longer period of time isn't negative. In Martha's case, her extended stay has given us a chance to thoroughly assess her needs for a forever home. Her adopters will not be alone and will have tremendous support and resources from Haws to help with the transition from her being a shelter dog to your beloved family member. We are confident that through our partnership with the community and Positively Milwaukee, we will be able to find a wonderful home for Martha. For more information, please go to hawspets.org or call our staff at 262-542-8851 to find out who we have here that's Positively Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Positively Milwaukee. If you've ever wanted to live in a castle, you can do so right in our area. James Groh gives us a look at a property in Hartford.
Welcome back to TMJ4 Cribs. This home is your chance to live like the royalty that you are, because this is a straight up castle and you've got to see what's inside.
You will feel like a king or queen inside this 3,525-foot square house with 5 bedrooms and 3.5 baths in Hartford. There is tons of exposed brick and stone, plus 2 fountains and 3 fireplaces. The price tag? $419,900. But for as unique as this property is, the family that grew up in it never thought it was out of the ordinary.
You know, even our friends, came over as kids and they didn't make anything of it. This was just what we lived in. It was no different than a normal house to us.
Brenda Lee Vogt literally helped build this home in the 70s as a child with the rest of her siblings.
Weekends, we would go pick stones, carry stones, dump stones.
After putting in all that hard work, growing up here and celebrating holidays, it's tough for Brenda Lee to see this home leave the family.
Very sad to let go, because we're letting go a part of our history and our life and our sweat equity and, something my dad has, treasured and built.
She just wants whoever owns this home next to fill it with as many memories as her family did.
I think somebody's gonna love it as much as we did. I gotta find the right person.
And while ideally the house would maintain the castle look, there is one change she encourages.
I want them to get rid of the carpeting.
This isn't just some novel castle in Wisconsin, it's also a home. One that costs $419,900, which is a steal of a price for something like this, if you ask me. For Positively Milwaukee, I'm James Groh.
Clearly a lot of love went in that house. Now that castle is not the only one in Wisconsin. If you'd like to see another one, we do have a link for you with pictures of Wisteria Castle. Just go to tmj4.com. Well, we know spring is trying to bloom, and that means plenty of yard work. But as we start to pull out those lawnmowers, we decided to ask you, how often should you mow your grass?
Probably more than I do, but I would say once a week.
I don't know, that's my husband's job, but I would say every couple of weeks.
I'm French, I'm living in Burgundy. We start in spring season, we are doing it every 2 weeks. And summer season, it's only once monthly.
Once a week.
Yeah, where are you from?
DC area.
I have no idea. I'm actually from Florida, so...
Maybe you have somebody else do it?
Yes.
That's a great question. I live in Arizona. We only have dirt and rocks. Just visiting for the weekend. If I had to guess, I'd say once a week.
Every week?
Every week? Do you agree?
Yes.
If I had a lawn, I would actually let it grow out. Just let pollinators settle in.
I'm a once a week.
Okay.
Keep it looking pristine.
I live in an apartment, so
every 2 weeks or whatever the HOA says, I guess.
I don't have a good guess. Maybe, 2 weeks sounds good.
Man, and I hate cutting the grass. You should cut your grass once a week. I say once a week. Okay. Yeah.
And hopefully soon we'll see more green, because right now you really don't have to cut your grass due to our weather. Now, if you have thoughts on the best way to keep a yard nice, reach out on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook group, or you can even give us an idea for a question you want us to ask next week. We love hearing from you. Okay, you're looking for a sure sign of spring? Well, this is our first reason to smile this morning. The Lake Express ferry has now come out of hibernation. The ferry has been moved out of its winter home in Menominee River Valley and into its summer home on Milwaukee's lakefront. Isn't that beautiful? The ferry makes 2 trips back and forth between Milwaukee and Muskegon, Michigan. The ferry, though, won't start taking passengers until Thursday. You still can buy your tickets online. Well, another fresh taste of spring for you. This is a combo of millennial favorites. Avocado Toast Food Truck. Vocado, MKE, is touring the festival circuit, and the truck serves more than avocado. There's a strawberry and dark chocolate combination, and if you'd like to try that for yourself, we do have a link at tmj4.com. That sounded different. Well, Mother's Day is a week away, and if you're looking for something to do, why not head over to the zoo? Moms will get free admission to the Milwaukee County Zoo Sunday, May 8th, and the zoo has plenty of animals Mom loves to see to celebrate the occasion. The zoo is open from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on Sundays. We have all that info on our website, tmj4.com. 25 cats from Qatar have a new place to stay, and this is all thanks to the Sip and Purr Cafe in Milwaukee. Now, the cafe allows you to sip wine and have a snack and pet cats, and that helps them find forever homes. Now, the animals in Qatar had no future. Coming to America was really their last chance at adoption. The kitties are going to be able to relax in foster homes before they transition to the cafe, where you'll get a chance to meet them and pet them. And that's perfect. I'll be back with my quote of the week. Facts are threatening to those invested in fraud. Our quote this week comes from Deshane Stokes. Stokes, a sociologist, specializes in issues like inequality, power, and politics. He spent much of his career looking into how our social power structures actually contribute to and worsen inequalities. He knows that oppressive power often relies on mistruths and lies. He knows some people in power don't want others to know that, and people have more things in common than they have differences. So don't forget that as you go about your week. And remember, there's freedom in truth. Have a great week and stay positively Milwaukee.